So I wanted to give you a tour of the house. Thing is, I decided to go fishing this morning because I was having a hard time deciding how I wanted to start this tour. But I guess the best thing to do is just go in the front door and start showing you what we have in here. Or what I have in here, because it's just my house. Look at this little guy. So we have an armor stand mod, and I've been playing around with that, and I made a few little characters just to sort of give some life to the place. Got an iron golem over here. This little hoglin head guy here. Got a pillager headed guy over here with a bow. You know, I might want to give him a crossbow, to be honest, instead of a bow. That would be more accurate, wouldn't it? And these two guys, for some reason, just can't get along. They're always fighting. Got a couple more armor stands I haven't done anything with yet. But yeah, I just want to bring some life into the place. And so I've been playing around with that. I might do one more of those a little later. So this here is an elevator I put in. I'll have to show you how it works, but first we gotta go downstairs. Should I show you that yet? You know what? No, I'm not gonna go downstairs yet. I'm gonna show you the upstairs. Alright, let's go. So if we go up here, I made this little room right here. And it's like a conference room. Now I know there's only 3 of us on the server for now. But we have this little table, some chairs around here. And these are supposed to be like cups of some sort of drink, maybe coffee, something like that. But they're from Copycats Plus, which is another one of the mods we have. It's an extension of the Copycat panel, part of Create mod. So, yeah, these are called Copycat Bites. And it just has the texture of a composter on it. I thought that looked kind of neat. So yeah, put this here in this room, like a little conference room. And if we go up to the top, it's just a big empty space under the skylight. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this space yet. I'll probably divide it up into rooms, or maybe I'll put something else up here. This might be my living quarters. And then we have roof access. Come up here and, I don't know, take pot shots at iron golems. Just because. Missed. I had been practicing for a while because we had a lot of iron golems in there. We were being overrun, really. So I stood up here and just started sniping iron golems. But yeah, I put in a little bit better access from that level over to here. Walk around top of the skylight. You can see Bean's place over there. Our enchanting room right there. The rest of the village. Pretty good view. I closed in the where I make my honeyed apples. I'm not sure if I really like that design yet. I might change it up again, do something different. So that's kind of a work in progress. Pretty much like everything else here. But now we can go downstairs. So I put in this elevator. Actually, I'll leave that open so when it goes back up, you can see it's just that's what's called a mechanical piston from Create mod. You can make it as long as it needs to be. So it's just stuck to the bottom of all of that, and that's a bunch of stuff. It's all glued together. And it's programmed. Let me see if I can jump down in here. You know what? I'll do this a better way. I'll go around this side. Take these out. Then I have access to this. This is a sequenced gear shift. So you can program this to move that piston. So basically what this is saying is once it gets a redstone signal, it's going to move the piston down 7 blocks, 7 meters, wait for 4 seconds, and then move the piston back up 7 meters and stop. So every time we press one of these buttons that's connected to the redstone for that, it does just that. It pulls it down, waits 4 seconds, and then goes back up. And that's how I made that work. So this is my basement area. I moved my what I call my home away from home, which I can't actually pick back up right now because it has too much stuff in it. So it's been just my storage room. Moved it down here, and I put some other Create mod stuff in. First I moved the lava, my infinite lava source generator, and made it a little bit bigger. Now it has 4. I put some pipes in underneath. Actually, let me just go into free cam here real quick and I'll show you how that works. So underneath here there's a pipe coming across to a pump. It's just pumping it up into that tank. And this tank holds 128,000 millibuckets, or 128 buckets worth of lava. And it's full right now, but then there's another pump coming over to a spout. So all we gotta do is put an empty bucket. So if I were to, say, feed this lava to this blaze under here, I could put the empty bucket under there and refill it. And it'll just pump lava out of one of these to take up that spot in the tank. So then I have a millstone in here. I can just throw things in on top. It'll bring it down into this barrel. I've been using that to grind up some granite. So when you grind granite in a millstone, you get red sand. Alright, so I'll just let this do its thing here. Okay, that took longer than I thought it would. But we'll take the red sand, we'll bring it over here, where I have this. I have a fan in there blowing through a water source, and then we can put the red sand in here. It'll drop through the chute down into this chamber. And once that's finished washing, we'll have some gold nuggets. And sometimes you get dead bushes. But this time we just got gold nuggets. I'll put those with the rest of the gold nuggets I have. We can turn those into ingots. And we'll turn the ingots into blocks. And if we need to, we can turn those blocks back into ingots and even back into nuggets if we ever need gold nuggets or anything. So yeah, I've been turning granite into gold. Here we have a press. So the press, you can just put ingots on there and it'll stamp them into sheets. Can use when you need iron sheets, gold sheets, brass sheets, whatever you need. And it can do some other things too. If I put a not a cauldron but a basin under there, I can pack blocks into other stuff. I can pack clay balls into blocks automatically. Although it's a little faster to do that at a crafting table, but in an automated system you could use this to do that. And then a deployer, which has a lot of different functions. Right now, it's holding a large cogwheel because the last thing I was using it for was to make precision mechanisms. And that's a bit of a drawn-out process, but, you know, I'll show that to you eventually, just not today. This is an auto crafter. I use that to make the crushing wheels that I have over there because their recipe is larger than a regular crafting table, so you have to make this. It's set up right now just to put a bunch of andesite alloy around the outside, put planks in these 4 spots, put stone in the middle, and it'll make crushing wheels. So, crushing wheels over here can do the same thing that a grindstone can do, but for more different types of blocks. Like this can crush ore and stuff like that down into crushed raw material that can then be used. So I haven't set this up entirely yet. It doesn't have any power running to it. That's going to be a project for the future. I was just getting things set up. Over here, I put in a passive boiler, which will eventually be an active boiler. Right now, it can't self-sustain. It needs power coming in off of, and we'll get there eventually, but my main power is coming in from under the dripstone farm. Coming in across this way. So this is just running a water pump just to keep water in the boiler. And all it's doing is just adding in an extra 2,000 stress units to the system. So I have that in the corner right now, and eventually that's going to be a boiler that's going to add a lot more power once I get more blaze burners. Right now it just has campfires under there, so it doesn't produce enough power to self-sustain. So another project that I want to work on today is over here. This is the space under the dripstone farm. So if I go back into FreeCam, I'm up here. This is where I have the dripstone being harvested in here. So we're down below that in this space, and these are just large water wheels generating the power for the dripstone harvesting area, the dripstone farm. Alright, I installed one more because I only had the 4. I only had one under each of the dripstone areas. So I installed one more. I want to put 3 more in here. Well, put these 2 in here and 1 more there. And then probably 1 more back here at least. And I moved these guys down here that if you saw during the house build, they were trapped in my basement. So I brought them over here and had them leashed to a fence post up there. They are named. Okay, I got Gustav, I got Ozzy, and Tony. The 4th guy doesn't have a name. If you guys have any ideas for a name for my 4th iron golem, leave it in the comments, and I'll pick whichever one I like best. But yeah, got those 4 guys down here. I want to put more of these power water wheel power generators in here. And then I want to dress these up to look like this design here. It's the same design, just different blocks. I just used these industrial iron blocks and glass just to make it look a little nicer. When I was designing the power for the dripstone, I just decided to use dirt because I had a lot of it on hand. But now I want to make it look nice. So I'm going to dress it up with this, and they're all going to look like this. I do have a rotational speed controller in here, and I'm keeping an eye on my stress units with a gauge here. So I want to keep a cushion. Once I get more of these generators hooked up, I'll have more power, so I'll be able to speed things up a bit more. This could potentially go all the way up to 256 RPM. But I'm running it at 100 RPM right now because that's where I stay in a nice range here on the stress meter. Once I add in more power, I can speed things up, and I can also add more devices in, more things that use power. So yeah, I think we're going to work on this, but I need to gather the materials I need, make sure I have everything ready to go, and I'll bring you guys back in when I'm ready to work on putting one together. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to get a gearbox put right in the center. And we want to make sure that it is rotated this way. So the power from the water wheel, which will follow this shaft, will then come out this way. And that's going to eventually connect. Oh, we don't want that there. It's going to eventually connect to here, but I don't want to put that in until we have this actually turning to make sure it's turning the same way. Alright, so the next step is to get this floor laid in here. And I'll just step up here, so I'll put that block back in. Alright, so we got the floor in, and we want the corners to come up 2 more blocks. And just for the sake of content. So, yeah, I got interrupted during the recording of that, and when I came back to finish it up, I forgot to hit record. So I installed 3 of these water wheel generators off camera and got them all hooked up to power. So we now have over 10,000 stress units, and we're running at 128 RPM. So yeah, we have some more power. And, I still have to get all these, dressed up and looking nice. But we're doing pretty good. Still want to maybe install some more back there, but I also eventually want to get, like steam generators installed, the boilers and the steam power and all that. But that'll be another day. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Next time we're going to meet up with Bean and JC and work on a creeper farm and play around with some more of these create mod things. I'll get those crushing wheels hooked up, and you'll see what we can do with that. So if you like what you've seen, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. And maybe even click the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode whenever I get around to putting it out. Oh yeah, if you guys think of any names for the iron golem back there, or any of the little armor stand guys up in the house, be sure to leave a comment. And I guess that's it for this one. Bye.